When somebody slaps you in one cheek, offer them other side of the cheek. And it's like, okay, here is a machete I'll offer you. Oh, guys, barely 2 minutes in. It's just 2 minutes in. This is too much.
October 2nd, US forces crossed the 30th parallel and attacked South Korea.
When you can defeat them, join them, I guess. So they joined North Korea. Horizon Jazz, and this is Breaking the Cold War with Bad Translation by the channel Star Horror. So I did the World War II one from this channel. Surprisingly good topic to do, right? I mean, translating certain languages that are hard to translate and just having a jam after that. I'm surprised nobody did that before, but I guess it's the first channel that's doing it. I hope he keeps doing that, right? This is Cold War. Yeah, he did World War II, and there's, I guess, many other topics. You just have to basically go on any topic, right, from Wikipedia and just use that. Like, you can even do World War I about it. Just, yeah. Napoleonic Wars, yeah, I don't know. You could do that from all the news, Wikipedia, whatever history texts there are. But yeah, so there is a infamous he. Who the fuck knows? But it's a he, right, with quotation marks. Yeah, the he is like a I don't know, Tom Cruise from the action movies or something, right? Doing shit in the background and God knows what Mission Impossible level of shit, right? He single-handedly founded London in Belgium, so that's some big level shit. So we'll see what he is going to do here. I hope he appears here. I don't know if he's going to or not. I hope he does here. So let's watch it. Remember, we flag my Rickson. Don't forget to subscribe so I know which videos to react to more. Comment down if you want to react to any specific video. And yeah, let's watch it.
Times using languages with the worst translation quality. This was the result. April to April 1945, US and UK fear Stalin's withdrawal and invasion of Poland. March to April 1945, British pound. Russian officials involved in Operation Vostok, President Roosevelt's second major, denied the allegations. Please stop moving. And then April 12, 1945, President Roosevelt dies. Vice President Harry St. Louis dies. You hate to see it. August 9th, Japan did not react when Truman authorized a second nuclear attack on Nagasaki. Live Japan reaction. September 2nd.
There should be a depressing... Is that a depressing emoji? Like giving up on life emoji? Because like Japan's like, oh, we are tired. We've given up. We're not going to react to it.
Japan surrendered to General Douglas. MacArthur led the liberation of Russia and its allies. There's two people now. You on Team Douglas or Team MacArthur? On July 4th, Philip declared independence from the United States and entered the war against Hezbollah. What? February 25th, Bo Russia win. Bo Russia. On June 5th, Secretary of State George Marshall announces a major economic plan for war in Western Europe. This is the world through the eyes of the Marshall Islands. The islands have eyes. December 30th, Romania. King Michael defeated...
Yeah, that economical plans of war. If anything, that's most realistic as that ever can be.
Ajir Georgios died. This empire was overthrown and the Roman Republic was established.
Damn.
1948.
Here comes
January the
Augustus
30th. Mahatma Gandhi is beheaded. On June 24th, Stalin visited France. Stalin closed all land routes from West Germany.
When somebody slaps you in one cheek, offer them other side of the cheek. And it's like, okay, here is a machete I'll offer you.
To Berlin.
Next level
British
shit.
and American troops arrived in Berlin. In response, the three Western powers flew fighter planes to Berlin and occupied it. On the 28th of June, Stalin blocked the streets of West Berlin and launched a hunger strike. It's just him on his own doing it. 1949. On August 29th,
What is this, man? Oh, God, it's barely 2 minutes in. It's just 2 minutes in. This is too much. Stalin, of all authoritarian figure, blocked the access and launched... What did he launch? Did he launch a nuke? Did he launch some kind of an attack? No, hunger strike. This is too much.
Soviet Union tested its first atomic bomb. At a time when the Soviet Union was the second largest nuclear power in the world, the United States successfully tested the Yo-Yam. Last October, President Tran Dai Quang announced the creation of a computer-based government for a quarter of the world's population.
That's
On June 25th, North Korea
Here's come the
invaded
cyberpunk
South
world
Korea,
or something.
beginning the Korean War. The council put the house on a hill. Bloody council had done it. October 2nd, US forces crossed the 30th parallel and attacked South Korea. Are they on the North Korean side now? On October 22nd,
when you can defeat them, join them, I guess. So they join North Korea. I don't think I can finish this video. Man.
China sent 30,000 troops to the People's Republic of China. And he's gone. Where has he gone? On
What the
November
hell?
9th, UN forces moved to the
He was
Yalu
behind
River.
it.
China sent 500,000 troops to attack North Korea and forced UN troops to attack South Korea. They've turned on their own side. On April 11th,
If US gonna attack South Korea, we might as well attack North Korea.
General Douglas shot and killed President Harry S. Truman. He's had enough. He's going to use the atomic weapons. Don't worry, though. On October 10th, President Truman signs the Mutual Security Act. So he didn't actually die. 1953. The Korean War ended on July 27th when President Eisenhower threatened the United States with the development of nuclear weapons. I'll do it. We've already got them. I like how they were like, all right, he's serious stuff. September 7th, leader Nikita
Truman threatened to bomb. So that's it. That was the end. This is too much, man. This whole thing is too hilarious.
Khrushchev and rival Lavrentiy Beria are assassinated in December. 1954. April to June, McCarthy fans protest the army. McCarthy game should be televised in the US. Let me play McCarthy game, please. On May 17th, Hezbollah takes control of the Philippines. On August 11th, the CCP set fire to Taiwan. The accident happened on the coast of Taiwan Island.
Accident?
The accident. Oopsies. May 5th, Army invades West Germany. It doesn't say which one, though. On
All of them.
1956, Khrushchev delivers a speech at the 20th Congress of the Communist Party of China. He says, "Towards the people and the people's influence," which focused on the beginning of Stalinism. US and UK cut funding for Egypt's Swan High Dam construction because the rebels bought weapons. NASA developed the Suez Canal. The 29th of October, crisis in Sweden. France, Israel, and Britain fly to Egypt to attack NASA. Canada opens the door to Ambassador Lester B. Pearson. UN Peace Prize Prime Minister of Canada awarded the Nobel Peace Prize to Lester B. Pearson. I think he wants us to know that he has a Nobel Peace Prize. November 6th, Dwight Eisenhower loses the presidential election to Adele Stevenson. December, North Vietnamese rebellion begins in North Vietnam with Vietnamese aid. 15.5, British darts. 1958, Languinary, Memoirs of Pope Mao. August, a Raytheon intercontinental ballistic missile is launched from Moscow towards Britain. On August 23, China began dropping atomic...
Okay, one thing I'll notice, I'm not gonna lie. Even though the bad translators are butchering everything, somehow they are projecting the same level of fear that they otherwise would to the specific nations, right? Like London being attacked, England being attacked. That was like, so it's not like, okay, somebody launched some kind of a strike on Brazil or something. No, it is on the countries that you think that they are afraid of, right? So somehow there's a pattern. So are these really bad translators, or somebody sneaking in some kind of a fantasy thing that apparently these translators are doing this? Some kind of a code that is just decoding all this shit. Because why Russia bombing London? Like, it would make sense, right? Like, if you hear something like this 100, 200 years ago, like, yeah, okay, makes sense, right? Attacking England. But after 200 countries, why is it the countries that, something like that, not some Brazil or some like Philippines or India or some shit? So somehow there's a pattern.
atomic bombs. This was the beginning of the Second Taiwan War. The Cold War has just become hot very quickly. September 1st, Iceland starts water supply. That killed the mood very quickly. The British protested and sent ships to the area. Iceland just got water for the first time, and the British were like,
You can't
October
help them.
11, the author has moved. It's November. Berlin Crisis 1958, 1959, Euro 1959. December 6th, continue running 3 ads. Is this when YouTube was established? 1959. January 2nd is the first month. However, he flew 5,990 kilometers without using an aeroplane. He is just so powerful.
Yes. First mention of proper he, and this is what comes up. Superman, that's what he is.
March 3rd, Moon Artist 4. This image was taken as it travelled 60,000 kilometres from the moon to the moon, which is 32,000 kilometres away. September,
60,000 is not that
Khrushchev
much.
visits the United States for 13 days, but is not allowed to visit Disneyland. To the sea. Sea time! December, Viet Cong NEC is established in North Vietnam. It is a communist revolution that overthrew the communist regime in North Korea. It is found in northern Vietnam and USSR. I like how they had a communist revolution to overthrow a communist government. 1960, April.
Okay, listen to me. We all agree communism is the best, right? Yeah, communism is the shit. But the North Korean communism, that's abomination. It has to go.
Jupiter will test an intercontinental ballistic missile, like Britain's Raytheon, at Morotto in Moscow, Italy. June,
god Jupiter.
conflict between
That's-
China and the Soviet Union.
Roman god.
Chinese leaders were not satisfied with the Soviet treatment of slaves. The computer was invented and the war with the USSR began. The third Cold War has begun. I started having a similar problem on July 5th. August 11th.
First of all, it's not a Cold War. How can it be third Cold War? The whole reason of Cold War is that it's never going to escalate at a level or never going to finish that fast. That's why it's cold. Otherwise, it would become hot really fast if it's going to basically come to an end or explode. How is it going to be third Cold War that fast? Which means first Cold War became a Cold War, instantly became a hot war. There was a conclusion, the second war went the same way, and now there's a third war.
Chad retires from golf. No. No. On September 23rd, Khrushchev addressed the United Nations General Assembly in New York. I went to America for a month. May 5th, Alan Shepard becomes the first American to travel to space, successfully campaigning for freedom. May 19th, Jupiter retains Jupiter's shipland. It will be the first spacecraft to fly from Jupiter to Earth. I think Jupiter is like the entire planet is like united and also involved in the Cold War somehow. October 17th, unification
they're talking about the god
of the
Jupiter.
Ukrainian SSR and the Ukrainian SSR. It's the Cuban Missile Crisis. October 16th, USSR builds nuclear power plant in Cuba. USSR agrees to non-binding agreement. Kennedy confirmed to Cuba about nuclear missiles and promised to destroy...
The nuclear crisis was about nuclear plant, not nuclear missiles. How dare you have some seamless energy plants? Yeah, you can have nuclear, burn coal.
US missiles. Ka and Castro betrayed Turkey and Italy. What? Why? December 7th, rebellion against British rule in Brunei. This match will be the first match between Indonesia and Malaysia. On August 5th, Great Britain and the Soviet Union signed the Pacific Treaty. It's not an underground nuclear bomb. It's not. Trust me on this. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. November 22nd,
Then the Soviet Union just bombed UK with a nuclear bomb. How'd that happen?
John F. Kennedy is injured and dies in Dallas. Some believe the communist government or the CIA is responsible, but they...
Okay, well, like, isn't saying he's injured is like kind of an understatement, right? It's just like, saying that there was some injuries and later on it turned fatal or something. Like, that's like kind of underselling it.
still need treatment. Kennedy was inaugurated as the President of the United States by Vice President Lyndon Johnson. On January 27, 1964, France recognized the People's Republic of China. On February 10th, the People's Republic of China severs diplomatic relationships with France.
That was fast.
It didn't last long. On September the 24th, Mozambique and Lithuania begin the Mozambique War of Independence. Portugal's not involved in this. Taking it out on Lithuania instead. November 28th,
Why is Lithuania
Sailor
getting
Moon 4
involved?
is released. 1965, March 23rd. See the top 9 matches. The Belarusian government declared independence on November 11th. and Harold Wilson recognised independence as British Prime Minister. No one recognised Rhodesia, but Portuguese neighbours, including Mozambique and South Africa, vowed to overthrow the African empire. 1967.
Wait a minute, what? Are they Mozambique and South Africa? How is that Portugal's neighbor?
South Africa vowed to overthrow the African empire. 1967. On March 12th, Emperor Suharto died and declared himself president of Indonesia.
That's some
East
strong
African
shit.
countries,
Yeah,
such as
send it
the
or something.
Soviet Union, the People's Republic of China, and North Korea. Indonesian treaty was signed by Suharto and the United States. The new football season brings the capital and foreign countries into Indonesia.
You see that, people? You see all you Americans? Soccer is that big. Like, war doesn't matter. Like, when it's about soccer, everything turns to side. That's how big football is at the global scale.
China dropped its first nuclear bomb on June 17th, 2017. I must have missed that. July
On what?
1st, war begins. Don't know which one, just war. Any of them.
War.
Pick one. 21st to the 27th of December. 8th moon Apollo enters lunar orbit for the first time. He made 10 orbits before returning to Earth, but never landed on the moon. He has become, like, supernaturally powerful now. He was powerful before, but he wasn't
Yeah, this time is
orbiting
next
the
level.
Earth powerful.
Yeah.
He arrived in the United States from New Armstrong Airport on July 20th. July 25th, the Vietnam War begins. American troops left Vietnam and war began.
I'm guessing this is like the Emperor of Mankind here from Warhammer. That's what we are talking about, right? He's just slowly gathering power. That's what's happening here.
In South Vietnam. September 1st, Colonel Muammar Gaddafi overthrows the Libyan government. Libya, an ally of Britain and the Soviet Union, was killed. Rest in peace. A moment of silence for Libya, please. The entire country was killed. 1970. August 17th includes Wolves 7. December 15th to the 7th is Thursday. He becomes the first astronaut to land on another planet. 1971. Idi Amin's victory in Uganda on
So he was always he was always Neil Armstrong. Is that what the case is? Like, he landed. So that's what he is.
January 25th was a joke. My favourite one is just March 28th. Say no more. September, Prime Minister Edward Heath expels 105 Soviet officials from Britain. His leg was cut off with a sword. December 2nd, Mars 3 approaches Earth and makes measures. He landed on Mars for the first time. However, it is spread
Damn.
for less than 20 seconds. September 28th, 2019, Canada's biggest event, the Soviet Hockey Series. September 11th, 1973, Chilean Revolution. King Augustus Pinochet killed King Augustus. On June 28th, the beginning of Moscow. On April 18th, Khmer Rouge invaded Cambodia, led by Paul Home. Who? May 12th, Mayaguez incident. The US Navy intervenes between the Khmer Rouge and the United States, rescuing the ship and its crew. He leads the team to failure. He's losing a bit. My favorite.
See, that's the thing. He wasn't a failure. His goal was failure, right? So he led the team to failure. He wanted to fail. That's the thing.
Month, Julia. The Apollo program has already started. This was the first
Who's
flight
this
of
Julia?
the joint Soviet-American space program. A successful mission is seen as a sign of space flight. November, condoms are sent to South America. The terrorist attack against him
Solomon, okay, you're breathing way too fast. There you go. Keep in your pants.
took place on November 29th. On June 29th, Syria will withdraw from the United Nations and join the United Nations. July 20th, return
I guess the documents had some typos in it. Like, we can change it. Only thing we can do is leave and re-enter, I guess.
to
There
the
you go.
United States. Leave Thailand. September 9th, Mr. Mao Shandong. Mr. Mao Shandong, everybody.
And
1978, Independence Day in England. Chinese President Xi Jinping said on December 18th that China will continue to promote innovation and open up to the outside world. On December 25th,
That's not wrong
a
in a
communist
way.
government was established in Afghanistan. Visit Vietnam and Cambodia, please. May 4th, Ellie Margaret is elected Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. John Paul II visits Poland for the first time. He was born in Poland, but this is the first time he's ever visited that. On December 12th, NATO threatened to develop nuclear weapons in Western Europe. He has played this game twice. Is he like a fourth wall break? He's actually controlling.
Okay. I feel like we are seeing the whole unraveling of who he is. He's a Superman. He has done some things. He's plotting something, right? We see his political takes on now. Like he has power on things, and he's threatening to build nuclear NATO. He's leader of NATO apparently. Is threatening to build nuclear weapons in Europe or something, right? So this is like he's playing this game already. So we're seeing unraveling of his, political strategies, global politics, and his superpower. That's what it is. This translator is painting the whole picture who he is.
Everything. And this is his second playthrough. It would explain a lot.
Okay.
May the 17th, Marx-Lenin government and Peruvian army. Very good. On July 3rd, the CIA launched
Time
a
to review.
counter-Soviet operation against African Union forces in Afghanistan. August 31st, after Lenin attacks Gdansk port, Poland signs the Treaty of Gdansk. 1981, January 20th, Ronald Reagan is elected 40th President of the United States. She was elected thanks to President Reagan's anti-Semitic policy. On December 13th, UN Secretary General Wojciech Chasky called for the abolition of the right to life in order to settle political differences between the China.
There is some political way of saying that. He just decided to kill people. Just get called for this. He called for this. It's like this is all official. Call for the abolition of the right to life, basically to live, to settle political differences. So basically, he called for the death of people because they didn't agree with him. So yeah, this is the most politically said statement of anything. Man, I love this. Right? Somebody should use this. It's so good.
Chinese Communist Party, and I'm calling for the abolition of the right to live. 1982, on the 24th, President Ronald Reagan announced the Caribbean Initiative to prevent the collapse of communism in local government. This universe is Ronald Reagan. It's very different. April 2nd, the United
Or is it all? Play the X-Files music in the background. There's something we're missing here.
States invades the Falkland Islands. This was the beginning of the Falklands War. Brand new He law just dropped, the 30th of May. He is from Spain, born in Spain.
We get
the
that
more
he's
He
from
law.
Spain.
The Communist Party of Sri Lanka was banned on the 30th of July. He can be called the youngest son of the Soviet Revolution. This is giving some background to it.
I'm imagining that Rocky guy who was a drug or whatever that was, right? The Soviet fighter, boxer, I forgot his name, right? I'm imagining him as the he now, right? He's from Soviet Union. Oh, more of his identity is unraveling, I guess.
He, I like it. In October, American forces invaded the Caribbean island of Grenada. He overthrew the communist government, overthrew the Cuban army, and stopped the Soviets from building an airport. May the 24th,
He's from the Soviet Union, yet he's doing certain thing that I guess destroys Soviet Union. I guess he has an end plan. I guess he's doing collateral damage just so his end goal can be reached or something.
Congress adopts the Borland Convention. He condemned aid to the rebels. August 11th, Soviet Union President Ronald Reagan mocks
He
Mike.
just went to this. People are like, what the fuck? He was helping Soviet Union. He was doing something for Soviet Union. Suddenly, he's now Soviet Union's president. How the fuck that happened? He's just sitting there with a bear and a vodka and everything, wearing that hat. Like, how the fuck that happened? How'd you get there?
During testimony week. President Reagan says, "I am America.
What the fuck is that?
I am delighted to sign Russia with. Each 5 minutes is burning." What? 1985, February 6th. The Reagan Doctrine calls on the United States to support communist revolutions in third world countries. On April 22nd, the National Assembly elected members of the National Reform Commission. He was convicted of crimes against humanity and war crimes in Argentina from 1976 to 1983. God created human beings with life. November 21st.
He was finally caught. Some trials were held there. I guess he's gonna escape or something.
Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev meet twice. Parentheses 3 times.
Maybe 3 times.
For a conference in Geneva, Switzerland. There's a new character just dropped. 1986. She was elected the first female prime minister of the Philippines.
More of them are coming.
1989, January the 20th. George W. Bush was elected as the 41st president of the United States. Not H.W.
W?
Bush, but George W. Bush.
No,
February
that's
the 2nd, Soviet forces withdrew
right?
from Afghanistan. And then on March 15th, civil war broke out.
Is his father's name is what? George H.W. What is that, right? There's George W. Bush, which is like the Bush we got in 2000, right? And there was H.W., right? His father from the 90s.
In Afghanistan, and Soviet troops were expelled from the country. You just keep getting kicked out. Tiananmen Square massacre on June 4th left dozens dead after the Chinese government cracked down on protests in Beijing. Not thousands, just dozens. On November the 17th to the 28th, the Grape Revolution ends in Czechoslovakia. The day after the Malta summit, Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev and American President George W. Bush announced they had signed a permanent peace treaty. Many observers saw the meeting as the official start of the Cold War. Those ones were a bit stupid, though, so ignore them. 1990, 29th of May, Boris was elected president. Yeltsin, Russia. 1991,
Okay, I'm surprised he didn't use Boris Johnson.
May.
That would
Boris
work.
was
You should have used the image of Boris Johnson with this weird hair and everything.
elected president. Yeltsin, Russia. 1991, Albanese ruling Labour Party dissolved on June 12th. August the 22nd, add and add not. That is the question. Turkey declared independence on October 26th. A majority voted for the independence from the Soviet Union. Turkey was part of the Soviet Union the whole time. We didn't know. December 22nd, beginning of the French War.
Again?
President Bush received a phone call from President Yeltsin and gave a birthday speech on December 25th.
Like we should little girl's room or something, like, they're gossiping or something.
You know the Cold
How
War.
you doing?
I hope you do, because you should watch the video about it. And then, December 26th, the Ukrainian parliament dissolved the Soviet Union, and America became the only country in the world.
Wrote by American. That's it. Oh yeah, this was better than the World War II one, man. I like how he just went extreme, right? I guess there was no he. He ended with that kind of like a trial that he was convicted of war crimes. After that, he wasn't mentioned. Or did he have a gender change and became she, because there was also a she there? I guess he escaped, changed his identity or something. Just some shit. All right. Man, this from the start to end, this was way too crazy. Way too crazier than World War II. He should do more, man. This is like epic. Oh, God. The transitions are the best thing there is. Ronald Reagan just went ballistic. Start to help him from Soviet Union to become the president of it and still saying, I'm America. That's something. All right, well, I was breaking the Cold War with bad translation. Well, channel Star Power, really good channel. Surprised he still has just 40,000 subscribers. He should have like 100,000 plus already. But yeah. All right, well, if you like my next one, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.